We are going to fix the UFC welterweight division. We're going to go through every single ranked fighter's next fight, starting off with Belal Muhammad, ending off with Michael Venom Page. And if they don't have a fight scheduled, we're going to give them one and a date on when to fight. It feels like the welterweight division is a top 3 welterweight class right now. It's the top 3 most exciting class to watch. You have newcomers, you have former champions, but it feels like there's a cluster, right? You have upcoming guys like Sean Brady, Shavkat, Jack Della Maddalena, Joaquin Buckley, Ian Garry, Carlos Prates. They're trying to fight for the title. They're trying to get a #1 contender, and it feels like there's a stalemate because you have former champions or older welterweights not fighting, and they're just holding on to that ranked position, right? Like Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, Thompson. It feels like they're just holding the division up in a way. So we're going to clean up this division and kind of give everybody a path on how to fix this mess. So before we get into that, be sure to like, comment who you want to see fight next or a matchup you would love to see. It could even be Islam Makhachev fighting Belal Muhammad, whatever the case is. And please be sure to subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. We've been doing this for 2 years, and we are so close to hitting 1 milestone. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Starting off with the champion Belal Muhammad, he has a scheduled fight against Jack Della Maddalena in May at UFC 315. I think he was supposed to fight Shavkat. He got injured and they needed a card and a champion for 315, so they just moved Jack Della Maddalena from Leon to Belal and put Sean Brady in Jack Della Maddalena's spot to fight Leon, which we all know he mauled him. But I think Belal Muhammad, after he beats Jack Della Maddalena, I could see him calling out Dricus du Plessis at the middleweight division, because it kind of does feel like Belal Muhammad has done enough to kind of call out another champion, but we will all see when that comes. Sean Brady, he's ranked #1 in the welterweight division. He just beat the living crap out of Leon Edwards, and I think his next opponent is probably Belal if Shavkat is still injured. If Shavkat is ready by December, which he should be, I think you do Sean Brady and Shavkat Rakhmonov for the #1 contender in December, and the winner fights Belal Muhammad, which leads to our second-ranked fighter, Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think it's just fair. Shavkat was supposed to fight Belal Muhammad. He had to pull out, so Jack Della Maddalena stepped up and now is fighting Belal Muhammad at 315. I think Shavkat, you could give him the fight against Belal Muhammad, but by the time Belal Muhammad will be ready, I think it's going to be too much time has passed for Sean Brady and Shavkat. So just to cut the ties and kind of give Belal Muhammad a break, you do Sean Brady versus Shavkat Rakhmonov for the #1 contender, no questions asked, in December, co-main event. Winner gets the champion. You have Belal Muhammad there in the crowd, and whoever wins, the winner faces Belal Muhammad in the cage. That's how you sell the fight. That's what you do in the welterweight division, because Sean Brady mauled Leon Edwards. He's going to be a great fighter to push against Belal, right? He's the guy that has beaten everybody, but he lost to Belal, and here's his redemption. And for Shavkat, you just sell it as undefeated fighter. He's from Kazakhstan or whatever, and he eats horses. He eats horse meat. He can beat up Belal. You can sell the fight either way. Going on to our third ranked fighter, Leon Edwards. His next opponent, he just got mauled by Sean Brady, and we are tired of seeing him against wrestlers. So you do Leon Edwards versus Ian Garry. You do this fight in November. This is a great match for both fighters. Both fighters would be striking each other. Ian Garry doesn't have to worry about Leon Edwards, saying something about his wife. He doesn't have to worry about a wrestling camp. And Leon Edwards doesn't have to worry about Ian Garry taking him down. He could. Ian Garry could take down Leon Edwards, but I doubt it. But this would be a great fight. You have a former champion, Leon Edwards, fighting a upcoming guy. So this is a good test for Leon. Does he still have it, or is he washed, right? After the performance Leon had after Sean Brady, there's a lot of doubt for Leon Edwards, and this is a way he could prove a lot of people wrong. And for Ian Garry, he had a close fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov, and a lot of people didn't think he was going to do good, and he went the distance with Shavkat. Here's a point for Ian Garry to prove to people, hey, I can beat Leon Edwards, who's a former champion. I'll be a champion. Give me a shot. I think this is a great match for both fighters. Moving on to the 4th ranked welterweight in the division, Kamaru Usman. There's nobody else but Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley called out Kamaru Usman, former champion. Kamaru Usman's on a 3-fight losing streak. He needs to fight somebody who's a young contender, who's on the rise. I don't want to see Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards the 4th fight. I don't want to see Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington a trilogy. I don't want to see Wonder Boy and Kamaru Usman. Give him a young contender in the welterweight division, or let him go to the middleweight division. I'm so tired that he hasn't fought in so long in the welterweight division, and he's just holding that spot. Joaquin Buckley is on a tear. He's like on a 5-fight, 6-fight win streak. Give him Kamaru Usman, former champion, in July. International Fight Week, I think it might be June 29th, actually. It's the end of June, maybe. Regardless, International Fight Week, Kamaru Usman, former champion, Joaquin Buckley. Whoever wins this gets to fight the loser of Sean Brady and Shavkat, and then the title, right? If Kamaru Usman beats Joaquin Buckley, it shows Kamaru Usman still has that inner dog in him. But if he loses, you move him to the middleweight division, or he can just retire off in the sunset. You don't want another Tyron Woodley situation to happen. For Joaquin Buckley, this is a big opportunity for him to move up and potentially fight for the title. If he beats Kamaru Usman, not only is he on like a 7-fight win streak, but he would have now beaten a former champion, which just puts him in that next category. Moving on to the 5th ranked fighter, Della Maddalena. He's fighting Belal Muhammad in May, UFC 315. If he beats Belal Muhammad, if he knocks him out, they're going to do Sean Brady, Della Maddalena. Who wouldn't want to see that? Like, that's a great fight. But if Della Maddalena barely beats Belal, they're going to do the rematch. Of course they will. If Della Maddalena loses to Belal Muhammad, I think you give him another contender in a way, right? Like, Ian Garry could be one, Sean Brady, Joaquin Buckley. There's a lot of great matchups for Della Maddalena. If he loses to Belal, he's an interesting fighter, great striker. Moving on to ranked 7th, Ian Garry. He's fighting Leon Edwards, like I just said. That fight will be in November because Ian Garry fought in December and Leon Edwards just fought last weekend. I think November is a great time for both of them. If Ian Garry beats Leon Edwards, he's right there for another title contention. That's going to be a great striking fair. Ian Garry versus Leon Edwards. I would probably favor Ian Garry, to be honest with you, beating Leon Edwards, because it seems like Leon Edwards is hitting that like wave of, is he completely washed, or has he just lost to 2 great wrestlers in the division? You know what I mean? Who knows? Moving on to ranked 8th, Gilbert Burns, who's actually fighting Michael Morales in May. This is a tough matchup for Gilbert Burns. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, fighting Michael Morales, who is this upcoming prospect who I think is undefeated. If Gilbert Burns somehow beats Michael Morales, which I don't think he will, you give him the Kamaru Usman rematch. That would be a great fight. If Kamaru Usman somehow doesn't fight Joaquin Buckley and Gilbert Burns beats Michael Morales, I wouldn't mind seeing that rematch, because then that means Gilbert Burns is, back on that train, because Michael Morales is a tough fighter. That fight's happening in May. For the next fight, ranked 9th, Colby Covington. I have him fighting. This is a big surprise for a lot of people. This fight has not happened yet. Vicente Luque. I think that is a great matchup. Colby Covington hasn't won a fight since 2022, which was against Jorge Masvidal. Vicente Luque. A lot of people shit on Vicente Luque. Let me tell you something. Vicente Luque is still that guy. He only loses to like the best fighters. And when you look at who Vicente Luque has lost to, I mean, dude, he's still that guy. Vicente Luque has only lost to Joaquin Buckley, dog, Geoff Neal, dog, Belal Muhammad, champion, Wonderboy, dog, Leon Edwards, former champion, and Michael Graves. Other than that, dude, Vicente is still that guy. I think he could easily beat Colby Covington. Vicente Luque is ranked 14th, Colby Covington ranked 9th. I think you do that fight, and you do that fight in July. Colby Covington will finally have some fights, like more than one fight in a year, and it would be a good matchup. Colby and Vicente haven't fought each other ever. And it's two fighters that are like in the same era. They're like close to the same age. It would be a fun fight. I would favor Vicente Luque because of the striking, takedown defense, and his submission attacks. But that would be a fun fight. You could see Colby winning that, but I would favor Vicente Luque. Moving on to ranked 10th, you have Geoff Neal, who's fighting Carlos Prates in a couple weeks in April, UFC 314. I am favoring Carlos Prates for that matchup. I just think Geoff Neal, he's a dark horse in the welterweight division, but Carlos Prates is what you could call a darker horse. That probably didn't come out right. He's just he's a dark dragon. He's even better than a horse in the division. Carlos Prates, Geoff Neal, they're fighting in April. Ranked 11th, Stephen Thompson. I have him fighting Michael Venom Page next. Everybody wants to see this fight. Give us this fight. Wonderboy versus MVP, a striking affair. You do this fight in September on that pay-per-view card. You could do this as a featured fight, even a co-main event if the main event is trash. You do this fight. Sell it as a strikers fight, a fight that everybody's always wanted to see. Two fighters who are over the age of 38 years old that, still have it. They still have the striking technique, and they're both like kickboxing, karate champions, so that would be a great fight. And they're both in the same era and rankings in a way, right? Stephen Thompson ranked 11th, Michael Venom Page ranked 15th. Moving on, at number 12, you have Michael Morales fighting Gilbert Burns. That's in May. Michael Morales wins. Dude, he's a top dog, and I could see him fighting like Garry or Joaquin Buckley if he beats Gilbert Burns. That's a huge win on him. Moving on to rank 13th, that's Carlos Prates. He's fighting Geoff Neal in April, UFC 314. That's going to be a great fight. I am favoring Carlos Prates. He's that dark dragon like we just discussed. Ranked 14th, Vicente Luque, Colby Covington. In July, International Fight Week. That could be an opening fight on the main card. That would be a great fight. Have Colby Covington talk that trash, do the MAGA talk versus Vicente Luque. That would be a great fight. And ranked 15th, like I just said, Michael Venom Page versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Do that fight in September. That is every single ranked fighter in the division fighting each other. Everything scheduled out. Everything has a date. It all makes sense. And there's not one fight that I have said on this that I've made that you would look at me thinking, why would you do that? Come on. MVP versus Wonderboy. Great fight. Vicente Luque versus Colby Covington. Great fight. Who else? Joaquin Buckley, Kamaru Usman. Great fight. Shavkat versus Brady. Great fight. That is my ranked fighters cleaning up the division. That's who they should fight. Be sure to comment what you think. Who should fight who? If you have different matchups, tell me. Leon Edwards versus Vicente Luque. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates next. Comment below what you think and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See y'all in the next video.